So my passion for money came at a very young age, about 12 years old, when my father was a contractor and he had these side jobs in which he would pay me $10 an hour to hold the hammer, do some staining here and there. I took that money, about 15% of it, and would invest it into a brokerage account at Ameritrade, where I would physically mail in the check, and I would be very excited for that certificate to come back in about 2 weeks, for which I'd file it away with all the other certificates of stock that I was purchasing at that time.
Hey, this is Joshua Ingalls, broker with United Real Estate, and you just heard from Paul Novak with T2 Asset Management of how he started investing at the age of 12. I'm going to be interviewing Paul to learn a little bit more about him and what he does here. Well, again, Paul, thanks so much for agreeing to meet with me. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
So my name is Paul Novak. I'm a senior wealth manager with T2 Asset Management here in Oakbrook, where there's about 10, 11 of us, including my sister, who is the executive assistant here. We manage quite a bit of money. We're up near 150 million or so, and a lot of that is retirement planning, education funding, and overall active wealth management for our clients.
So, Paul, thanks for sharing your story about how you got started investing at the age of 12. Tell me how you're passionate about asset management today.
Well, Josh, I get to take my early onset passion for numbers and incorporate that with many different types of people. Not just myself, but a lot of the clients that I have. So I get to do a lot of education, which I really take pride in, and I'm very passionate about doing, because not a lot of people know even the basics about what a stock is or what a bond is. So having the ability to not only plan for their future, retirement, sending their kids to college, but also putting some true education so that they understand what they're getting themselves into is very important.
Is there any stories that come to mind of someone that really didn't know anything about asset management or financial planning, and you kind of took them from zero to where they're at today?
So I have a couple in mind that I actually took on as clients about 2 years ago. And soon after that, the husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. His wife at that point had, again, no idea even what a stock was, what a bond was, let alone what kind of accounts they had in all these different places. So I was able to bring her into the picture. We knew obviously at that point it really was not going to end well, and that is part of my job, and getting people lined up for those circumstances. So to bring her in and help educate her along the way about what they had saved for retirement, how far that was going to go for her and her family. They had 2 kids at that point as well. It really, not only caused her to have skin in the game, so to say, but to really understand what kind of lifestyle they were able to live after he was gone.
Well, Paul, thanks again for sharing your story and what you do here. Why don't you introduce me to some of the team members?
Sure, Josh, come on, meet Ken and Dan.
Awesome.
So I'm Ken Tomko. I'm one of the principals of the firm, portfolio manager. Kind of manage some of the advisors that we have in business. Really, the whole idea of the firm is to put some talented people in place who really focus on being a fiduciary for their clients. Instead of being a sales-based organization, we want to put the most expertise possible. Paul was a natural fit right from the start, knew that he was really trying to look for a better platform for his clients. That was in an open environment where other advisors are really focused on the issues, the tax planning and the financial planning and investment management, rather than just selling a product. And that was obvious from the first time I met Paul.
My name's Dan Timitich. I'm one of the founders here at T2 Asset Management. I'm also one of the portfolio managers, and I manage a number of strategies for the advisors on behalf of their clients. Well, Paul's great. I mean, Paul takes such an initiative with his clients to make sure that they're doing everything that they should be doing in order to retire well. There's an old saying, everybody's going to retire, but it's how you're going to retire that really matters. And I think the one thing that Paul really stands out with Paul in particular is his ability to really take a picture of what the families really need.
Paul, I know you have some passions outside of asset management. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
I do. So I really enjoy getting involved in the local community. I started my own nonprofit about 10 years ago, in which we get local business leaders together, raise money for local charities. In fact, we just raised money for a local family in which the mother had surgery. She had an 8-week recovery time in which she wasn't able to take the time off. So now through our efforts of raising money for her and her family, she's able to do that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thanks again, Paul. I really appreciate you taking the time to introduce me to the team and tell me a little bit about your story. What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Right, so the best way to get in contact with me is just to call me directly. I like to get to know my clients, and part of that is just getting to know why they're reaching out and what they're looking to accomplish.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, Josh.
All right.